I worked in Yellowstone, and I worked in the soda fountain, and he came in one day, and I just looked, said, okay, that's meant for me. And pretty soon he came over and asked me, and all he was asked, and coming in, he's working for the bus line for Yellowstone. And so he came in and sat down and ordered a milkshake, which was a big joke. Because he was kind of a drunkard at the time. Not really, but he liked his beer. And I met him, and then I said, okay. And then he came over one day, and we went out. They had dances at the one of the buildings in Yellowstone. They always had a dance every night. And so we all went over there, all the kids from the soda fountain and the gas station all went to this place to have dancing. And so that's where Bill and I went. And I guess we fell in love. And he came in one day and sat in front of the jukebox and called me over and sat down and then played this with this ring I he wed, and then proposed to me. And I said yes. And when the season was over, one of the men there was going to Minneapolis because he had fallen in love with one of the girls from Minneapolis. So he was going to go to Minneapolis to see this girl. And so he took us to my mother and dad's place in Minneapolis, by Appleton. And of course, my mother and dad weren't too pleased. My dad was okay, but my mother was, I think she was a little upset to think that I was going to marry somebody from back east, because she had a sister who married somebody from back east and ended up being divorced. And so she thought that would happen to my husband. Well, we got there, and they were having a rodeo. And so my husband put on his boots and his Levi's and a leather jacket, came downstairs to take me to the rodeo. And my mother looked at him and said, "You're not taking my daughter any place looking like that." Because they weren't used to boots and Levi's and anything Western, anything around there. It was just, So my husband went upstairs, changed his clothes, put on his suit, went to the rodeo. I can remember when we were back home visiting my folks, my brother came over with his little girl. He and his wife came over with their little girl, and she was playing crayons and was having trouble. So he went right over there and started playing with her. And, he was willing to do that, and he could do that. He could go over and talk to anybody, especially little kids, and he liked that. Yep, we eloped. Well, I was teaching in Hazen, North Dakota, and I was going, and Bill had come home to me with me, and he didn't have a job. He was going to go to California. Well, when he found out I was going to teach in North Dakota, he decided maybe he'd stay there, and because I was there. Well, so he called the guy in North Dakota to find out if there was any teaching jobs, and there was one right close to where I was going to be teaching, and they needed a teacher, and so he called, and just like that, they hired him. No interviewing at all, and that was about 20 miles from where I was, and so we were there. Well, we had all the teachers in North Dakota had a teachers meeting for a couple of days. So we went to this, all the teachers in Hazen and in Zap, which was where Bill was going to teach. And we were there, and we were all, everybody was getting a little tipsy. And we started talking about getting married, and somebody said, well, why don't you elope? So we decided, oh, well, why don't we? So we went out and got a license and eloped, just like that. Okay, well, this advice I give to these people, newly married couples, is make sure that you know each other and that you're willing to stand by each other, that you're going to love them at all times, and that you're going to know what's going on. You're going to talk about it. You're going to talk together, and so you know what's going on with how she feels and how he feels, so that you can get to, if you're having problems, that you can get together and know what the problem is and solve it.